Grace, obviously you get the 10 on floor. Just take us through that and how it felt to get that 10 on floor that has kind of eluded Utah since for a while now.
It was really special to get a 10 on floor. I knew that Utah hadn't got a 10 on floor in years, and so it just made it that much more special. And I've been working so hard in the gym every day, and I just was really hoping that one of these days it would pay off. So yeah, it was really cool.
There was a point during that beam rotation where 3 of the girls in a row, I think you were one of them, it was like 10 and then you were the other, and then Miley was the other, like 10 and then 9.95 I think was the other. So like it seemed like you guys were almost gonna get 10s, like 3 in a row, and then it didn't happen. Like when you're like in that moment watching each of you so close to that, like is that like frustrating at all, or is it just kind of like part of the whole experience?
You go.
Honestly, like that's what we all do in the gym every single day. We get up there and we do 10-hour routines time and time again. We're in control of our gymnastics. We're not in control of the judges. So we're just proud of each other. We watch each other and we're like, yeah, that was a good routine. And that's all that matters. And we're out there supporting each other and just cheering each other on.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really much to add to that. She spoke perfectly. But we do work really hard in the gym every day, and that was just what we do. Like, we didn't do anything different, and we know we went up there and did the gymnastics we normally do in the gym every single day, so it's cool to see.
I think I noticed that they flashed, after Miley's, they flashed on the big screen, and it looked like she was thumbs downing the judges. Is that actually what happened?
Yeah, I mean, she that beautiful routine, I mean, it was stunning, and they did give her 110, but she was like, oh, come on. She deserves it.
Ella, you go 9-9 plus on all 3 events today. Just take us through that, and how good did it feel to put together 3 really solid routines tonight?
It felt really great. Even just starting on vault, that was my career high. And I took that energy and I brought it to bars, which then led me to another career high. And I was really having fun, which is what helps me compete my best, is when I'm having fun, I'm not worried. So I also brought that to floor, and I just didn't worry about anything. I just did what I did in training, and it happened.
Abby and Grace, how does seeing a freshman put up those 3 9-9s for your guys' team, how does that make you guys feel?
It's so exciting. Once again, to echo everything about Beam, she does that every single day in the gym. She is like a phenomenal bar worker. Her floor and vault are just as amazing, and it was so exciting to see that her put that all together out there on the meet floor, and I loved seeing you just so happy and light as well.
I was just really excited to see her so confident. She's been working so hard in the gym every day, and every day I'm just like, oh, she's so close. Like, she just needs to get that last bit of confidence, and I saw that today. I mean, she was just stunning out there.
It seems like bars for you guys were a lot more solid than the rest of the season. Did you guys also feel that way? What do you think contributed to maybe the higher scores this time around?
This time around, we were actually just focusing on being aggressive. We did a little bar inner squat of sorts yesterday, and Jimmy said just get out there, trust in your training, because we are all really good bar workers. So be confident in what you're doing, be aggressive, and go out there and kill it like we do in practice.
How fun was the floor tonight as a team?
Floor is always a floor party. It's so fun no matter what. It was just, we had a blast out there, and we went out and did our gymnastics like we normally do.
Yeah, I would echo that. I feel like floor is always so fun, especially with everyone's super upbeat routines this year. We get to get out there and we get to actually perform, which is a blast. Mm-hmm. And then we had some Taylor Swift in the background, which obviously helped.
If you guys had to equate the season so far to a certain Taylor Swift era, where would you guys say you guys are at?
I know nothing about Taylor Swift.
Reputation?
I feel like Reputation's a good one.
Yeah.
You know what? We're coming back. We're owning ourselves, who we are as people, who we are as gymnasts.
Not caring what
Reputation's a
people
really
say.
good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was a season high score tonight for you guys, and I think kind of what you have needed to do is put together a complete meet. How does it feel to kind of now have all 4 quarters where they need to be?
I think it helped boost our confidence. This was the first meet of the season that we actually hit 4 for 4 event-wise, and now we're heading into our last few meets of Pac-12 play, so I think we're all just super confident, super excited to get out there and do the same thing next weekend.
And hitting above the 198, I mean, going in, you know where the other teams are in the country and what it's going to take to compete with them. So what does it mean to get there?
I think it just builds our confidence knowing that we do have what it takes to score just as well as all those other teams out there. And so we're just going to keep building off that as season goes and keep improving every day in the gym.
Abby, obviously you're the Swiftie girl. How much did this meet mean to you?
It was so fun. I was like, I'm gonna like geek out a little bit. I made some friendship bracelets last night. I haven't even brought them out there yet, but like I got all of these from just girls throwing them to me on the floor, and I was like, oh my gosh, my heart is like so happy. And it was just like so fun to do that. Oh, by the way, actually, somebody requested to give this to you. So it's not just me. Sorry. I know, that's really so sweet. It says it's a 10 because she scored a 10, you know, they were ready. But so all the little Swifties out there, I appreciate you. We all appreciate you. Thank you.
What era would you say you are?
Oh. I don't know.
That's a deep question.
I used to think I was like a Reputation girly, but I think, actually no, I stick with that. Because Reputation is always like misread. People think it's like a really serious and intense album, but it's really a love album. And I think I'm like outside very serious, but on the inside I'm emotional, and I'm like, you know, I cry a lot in a good way.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, but so Reputation.
First thing that comes to mind is I'm just so proud of the team tonight. Our goal was to put together 4 events. It wasn't necessarily a score, but for us to just go out and do our 4 events because we haven't done that yet, and that's exactly what we did. And obviously 198 is the goal, and that's kind of what I said in the locker room we got back was, what happened when we put 4 events together? We went 198. And that was with lineup adjustments. So new lineups, new people in bars and beam tonight, moved some people around, and yet we still were able to come out with our best score of the season. I think it just talks about the character of this team and how determined they are and the strength of this program, and I think we're just getting started.
So there's been a lot of 10s in the last couple of years for Utah, but they haven't been on floor.
No.
What does it mean to see Grace finally break that 10 drought that you guys had on the floor?
I mean, I think that was the highlight for tonight, you know, as an individual for her. She's been working so hard on that. She's had to come out of her shell with her dance and her performance. She's always been a great tumbler, but the, you know, uncomfortable part is showing off the routine, and just to see Grace out there smiling and enjoying herself and celebrating with the team, it makes me so happy to see that.
Speaking of 10s, you always say, or everybody always says, that you can't control what the judges say. In beam, it seemed like in the room and in the crowd, there were 3 10s in a row, and you guys didn't get there. You know, when that happens, like, what's kind of going through your mind as you get 3 in a row like that?
I honestly don't even think about it. I just look at the quality of the routine, and just to see them be so consistent up there, especially tonight with a big adjustment without Emily leading us off. I mean, that really does set the tone for that event. So I really wasn't focused on the score other than just the quality of the routine and the confidence of each of them being up there tonight.
Losing Emily is obviously, you know, a huge shift for the next few weeks here. What kind of adjustments are you making as a coach to, you know, fill those gaps, I guess?
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday at our team meeting, and we said that, you know, without Emily, it really means that everyone needs to elevate a little bit, whether that's like a 0.05 in their execution or it's their leadership, and that goes for our staff too. All of us need to kind of elevate right now and grow a little bit while she's not here. You know, we can't replace Emily, but obviously tonight we're able to make some substitutions in, and we were able to still get a great score.
Could you talk about, I mean, Grace had the break on bars, but then she came back with just 2 stellar events, and how important that is to kind of do that.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of an uncharacteristic handstand in her bar routine, but I mean, Grace is an Olympian. She can really handle anything, and take a little small moment of disappointment to have a bit of an execution error that she doesn't typically have. Obviously it didn't faze her at all. She just came back and did her thing.
Can you talk about Ella for a second? She had a career night on 3 events, and she's still a freshman.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I think we've all been watching Ella week after week, and it's just taken some time for her to adjust handling the pressure of competing for a team. It's not just for her anymore. If she makes a mistake, it doesn't just reflect on her. It really does impact the team, and that's a big step that a lot of freshmen have to kind of learn how to handle, and she is just continuing week after week to be able to handle that kind of pressure and learning how to internalize it and be like, yeah, but I know I'm great, so I'm going to still go anyways. And I think that adding floor has been really helpful for her. Sometimes doing multiple events, it kind of keeps your distraction versus just on one event.
Is that the most Taylor Swift you've heard in a 2-hour span?
I don't know. We practice for 4 hours, and there's a lot of T-Swift that happens at practice. So.
You guys are obviously heading into a really big meet the next week with Cal, who's another very top line team, and you got your highest score of the season this meet. What does that do to kind of just help build confidence and maybe push some momentum heading into a meet that's going to be a very big deal?
Yeah, I mean, definitely tonight is going to help our confidence going into that. We've really been focusing on skills that we've been acquiring through season, and we've been having a lot of conversation around it. I think being on the road the last 2 weeks, first road meet, kind of uncomfortable, right? And then I guess it was a few days ago on Monday at UCLA, that's a big place to have to compete, and our team handled it, and we came back and did what we needed to do to win. And coming in here tonight, I think gave us a lot of confidence just knowing that we'd been on the road and we were still able to do our job. So moving into Cal next week, we're going to continue to talk about the skills that we've acquired, and we're really focusing on bringing our own energy and staying engaged with one another. And those are things that we can control, and we can bring that to Cal because we're in control of our actions and our emotions and our attitude.
On the flip side, because we haven't really actually talked about how quick the turnaround was between a really big meet with UCLA and then getting that high score tonight. That's kind of what you have to do, though, heading into postseason. You always have those quick turnarounds. Is that helpful, kind of getting people in the routine of this is what we do?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it's nice to have a full week of practice, but again, just kind of, having to adapt and adjust to a different schedule is also part of being successful. And I think we did a good job prioritizing our practice this week, and we really only trained yesterday, and that was it, and just gave them some time to come down emotionally and physically so they could be up, be ready to go for tonight.
How would you categorize the character of your team this season?
I mean, I think that they're fighters. I mean, they're so resilient. They just continue to give everything they have in practice. I think with this team, there's a lot of ownership and accountability, and it's led by them. Good teams, coaches lead and dictate and tell you what to do, but the best teams are really led by the athletes, and I think that's what we're seeing this year is these athletes are taking this upon themselves to be the best they can be because they want to be great for them and for one another, and that heart and that passion, I think, is going to take them to wherever they want to go this year.
Seems like after Miley's routine, after her beam routine specifically, she kind of gave a little thumbs down to the judges and kind of booed a little bit along with the crowd. I mean, how much do you care about your gymnasts getting sort of into the emotion of the judging in those moments?
Yeah, I actually didn't see her do that, but it's emotional. They put a lot of work in. Maybe not the best body language to do after a score that comes up, but they care a lot and they're passionate. And, it's like a basketball game. Someone's going to yell at the ref if they don't like the score. So there's just a lot of, emotion behind what they're doing.
It seemed like the floor team today was loose. I hate using that word, but they were having a lot of fun. Is that a mixture of the new upbeat routines? Is it that they're trusting their gymnastics a lot more, or what do you think it is that led them to be so free and just kind of throw those great routines tonight? Yeah,
I mean, I think there was a lot of momentum going into the last rotation. They knew they had done their job in the other 3 events, and just to go to the last one, and floor has been such an exceptional event for us this year, and I think that they are really recognizing that and believing that, and there's not a lot of stress around the floor lineup, and that comes from the training that they've done, the competitions that they've put together on that event, and again, we're just over the halfway mark for our season this year, and their confidence has continued to elevate over there, and there was no reason to be stressed going to floor other than to just enjoy themselves, celebrate the work that they've been putting in over there, and throw a little huntsman party at the end of the meet.
Speaking of good rotations, you mentioned earlier that you guys put together 4 events, something that I think hasn't really been done yet this season. And bars has been something that has been a little bit inconsistent. Today it seemed like you guys really did well. What do you attribute the performance in that event specifically?
Yeah, I mean, again, we're really focusing on progress and not perfection. And I think over there we did a little bit of a heavier bar assignment yesterday, put them in more of an inter-squad feeling because we were going to have a much different lineup today with Emily out, and obviously Abby Paulson has not been in the bar lineup for a while, so give her a chance to go out there. And I think more than anything that they were just in a really good place tonight coming into this meet. They came in with a lot of confidence, and it just showed in their gymnastics.